Okay, so if I remember correctly, this is the herbalist who had a sickly person who we offered to give a Witcher healing potion to. And we weren't sure at the time as to whether or not that person would survive, because Witcher potions supposedly are strong enough that they don't always mix so well with normal humans. So supposedly, I think they were saying it would take something like 2 days before we would know for certain. Also, you guys see an enemy over here somewhere. If I can remember what the attack button is, I do. Confirmed. Okay, that's a good sign. Do I remember what any other buttons are? Probably not. So here we go. Get back into the swing of things, I'm sure. Just taking a little bit of shaking off some rust. So we were doing that. I think the primary thing that we were doing, however, or at least the biggest thing that we were doing, was that we were fighting the Wraith? The Noon Wraith, I believe, is technically what it was, that we found near this area on the outskirts of town. And we had to do a bunch of stuff like jump into a well in order to be able to successfully spawn said Wraith and actually make it so that we could deal damage to it. And we had a few issues with that, but ultimately it did work out. So there is a shopkeeper over here. I don't remember what that shopkeeper does. What is this? Oh, okay. Now, however, the big thing that we have, because that was technically, I believe, a side quest, is that we now have the Griffin. I believe it's a Griffin. Find some buckthorn in the riverbed using your Witcher senses. I believe we are now technically trying to find that buckthorn as a lure for the Griffin, which is the primary monster that is plaguing this city. And I believe that is technically the main quest. Now, I'm a little hesitant to jump straight into that, because I think that, well... Some abandoned site? Have we not? No, I'm pretty sure we have cleared that out. I think the abandoned sites are all areas where there are a few monsters, and if you clear out those monsters, then the people can come back and re-inhabit the area. You get some experience, you might be able to get some people to trade with and stuff like that. So, what I was getting at, though, is that I think that it's probably not the best idea, after having not played The Witcher for several days, a week, at this point, probably not a great idea to go straight into a major boss fight. So if there were a side quest somewhere, and there are definitely plenty of those, that we could do to ease ourselves back into things a bit, and I think that might be a good route for us to take. Now, granted, we've certainly seen that some of these side quests are much more difficult than others, and so it's hard to say definitively what order we should do all these things in. Let's maybe target this. If I hold X, I can make a custom waypoint. Let's throw that one on, maybe. And so we'll see as to whether this is the... Well, that is not the button I was looking to press. I was looking to press the button, whatever it is. There it is. It summons our horse. I think it's technically right next to us, so he's probably like, no thank you. Also, for a second, I thought the peasant was our horse. we whistle for our horse, and then the peasant comes walking over. Yeah, you know, that's probably not what's supposed to happen.
Bye-bye, Hellraiser.
Okay, but we'll check this out a little bit. We'll see if we can find something a little bit easier for us to do to warm up a bit. Then, from there, we'll see as to whether the Griffin seems like a good thing for us to do from there.
Not so fast, Roach.
But we went much further north than I was expecting, I think. I just did the autopilot option. So, oh yeah, wow. Okay, so we actually, probably should have known that if we just autopilot followed the path, that we would, you know, follow the main path and end up going north. Unfortunately, although there is the Nilfgaardian garrison over here, there aren't any side quests directly in this area unless we like poke our head over into the woods here somewhere. And I think we've seen wolves here in the past, so there's certainly a chance this is where we originally saw the trader guy. The not so real tradesman. That is a level 5 wolf, supposedly.
Ugly bastard.
That's a ward. Supposed to be even tougher. I did see that guy coming. Ah, that also hurts. Could you maybe not do that? Ow, not bad. Just take one hit. Just want to finish you off. Ow, I did not see you either. Saw that guy coming, and was not quick enough to dodge. Okay. I believe that is all of them. I haven't really looked to see how substantial, if at all, the experience we were getting from just taking down these random wild animals is. It very well could be that it's more or less meaningless. We should just not even bother. But, you know, at the moment, I suppose ignorance is bliss. There we go. Apparently did not take that. Likewise with the loot here. For these guys, I have no idea. Or actually, raw meat I think we can use to heal ourselves. Strange as that may seem. So, I think we did... Oh, there was a wraith here earlier. It proved to be surprisingly, yeah, very powerful. And nearly killed us on a prior occasion. We have leveled up since then, I believe, but probably not a fight we want to be picking when we only have 2/3 of our HP.
Giddy up.
So let's just try to avoid that area a little bit, and instead just go over to the other side here. Whoa, almost walked straight into that ditch. That would not have been good. Oh, for a second I thought that deer
That's it, Roach.
was a wolf that was charging straight at us. Apparently not. Okay, but this is the path that I believe we want to be on. That's a lot more wolves up there as well. So now, let's see. Do we want to be headed north from here or south? North if we are going for this marker here. There is another thing further north on this side as well. Because, yeah, this was the area with that wraith. This was the area where we crossed over. So let's continue north. Let's see what we can do. Because I have no idea what this thing is going to be. What kind of side quests are we talking about here? Oh, well, I see some grounders already. I don't know if this is necessarily... Can I dismount again? There we go. This is necessarily the area that we're looking for or not, but, well... Let's see, how many of them are there? Just 2 is probably manageable. More than that, and I would say that we might be in a little bit of trouble given how we don't have a ton of HP right now. Okay. Let's see, and also, do I remember which sword is our silver sword and which one is not? Because probably not. Let's see, those are our signs. Remembering all of the controls right now, or at least trying to. Yeah, let's give it a shot. This does appear to be the question mark that we were looking for. Excuse me, sir. I totally beat you with a punch there. You missed. You did not. And wow. Speaking of not good, yeah, get out of there, Geralt. Get out of there. Run away. Oh my god. Run away. Like, run. We have negative HP at the moment. How we are not dead, I don't know. We ought to have died there. Like, really ought to have died. Replenishing items. Oils, potions, and bombs are consumed upon use and can run out. Are you trying to suggest here that we have already run out or are about to run out of one of our items? Probably. To replenish your stocks of these items, enter the meditation panel. If you have hard alcohol in your inventory, you will automatically be it will automatically be used to create a new batch of every alchemy item you have. Okay. This would also be a terrible time for one of those wolves to decide to creep up on us. So we almost took out one of those drowners, but obviously, based on how low our HP was, did not seem as though it was a good idea for us to try to follow up and finish the job, because we would have been dead. We would have been dead. Even if there were just two of them. Damage was fine. We dealt damage pretty quickly. It was just that, clearly, we took our fair share of damage as well. Now, I am a little tempted to try to go back there and at least try to finish the one that we got several hits on. I don't remember if we got any hits on the second one or not. And I do see on the mini-map we have a little more information at this location now, it seems. Can we actually get rid of our custom marker here? That'd be kind of nice. Let's see, find back. They want to delete it. So I just want to see what the normal indicator is, now that we've sort of discovered this previously question mark location. Now should be not a question mark. So, are these drowners guarding some valuable loot that we ought to know about? Is that maybe the case? Oh, the other thing that I totally forgot is that I believe at the end of the last episode, I think that we leveled up. And I was talking about how I have no idea what we should be taking here. It's funny because, you know, I have played many, many hours of Path of Exile. And Path of Exile, for those of you who aren't familiar, is an action RPG game that is kind of famous for having a bazillion of passive skill tree. 4, 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 upgrades here, or actually, it's 25 in this combat. I'm assuming the blue group, the green group, the yellow group, and the gray group, that's what, 5 more, so 125. So it's still an order of magnitude less, and yet it still feels far less comprehensible, because I'm just not as familiar with it, don't have the same context and experience to know what is good and what is not. But anyways, place mutagens in the appropriate slots to gain a bonus to your character's statistics. I don't believe we have any mutagens at the moment, except there is a 1 icon there, so maybe that is a lie. Oh, did we get one from the noon raid that we just fought? We did. Plus 50 vitality. That sounds like a lot. I don't actually think it's very much, though. Choose a mutagen. There you go. Then place it in the indicated slot. Well, the thing is, like I was saying, I don't actually think that 50 vitality is all that much, and I'm pretty sure that, at least based on previous Witcher games, notably The Witcher 2, I don't actually remember if you could use mutagens in The Witcher 1. I think you could, but they were very different. So I'm thinking mostly of The Witcher 2. There were very much a finite number of mutagens that you could use, and for that reason, it made the most sense for you to deliberately be very picky with which mutagens you chose, because basically if you chose a bad one, it was like, okay, well, you just prevented yourself permanently from being able to use a really good one in its place. So, if this is the first mutagen we're getting, I'm assuming we're going to get much more powerful mutagens in the future. Might that mean that it's worthwhile for us to hold off for a bit here, wait until we do get some of those more powerful mutagens and only use those? Possibly. I think for now, until we know a little bit more on that, it'll make sense for us to hold off. So, use the mutagen placed in the indicated slot. Yeah, so like I'm guessing, based on what happened in The Witcher 2, it was basically like whenever you upgrade a passive skill here in the tree, then you can place a mutagen on any one of these squares. So, based on our previous maths, it would seem as though we have 100, or yeah, I was assuming there would be skill points here. So I think 100. skill points, assuming these all have the same amount in them. This is actually 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like 95, not 100. So that does seem like maybe mutagen upgrade slots are not so scarce, but potentially still something we might want to be a little bit mindful of using or saving. So for that reason, I still think it probably makes sense for us to be a little cautious using them at this stage. So let's hold off for now. And let's see, with our normal skill point, what can we actually upgrade that might be useful for us? Because last time, what we picked was increasing our vitality by 500. So there's an example for you. Mutagen gives us 50. Skill point that we used last time gave us 500. So that's a big difference. So that's why I'm saying I think that mutagen is probably pretty trash. Maybe, maybe not. But that's also kind of why I took this skill point, because I was like, well, it seems like we've come pretty low on HP on several occasions, so maybe it would make sense to make sure we have a little more life to work with. But also this prompt about mutagens is making it a little bit harder to read what some of these skills are. I think we probably want to go with something that is pretty safe, again, until we know more definitively what we want to do. So for that reason, let's see. So we can... Oh, actually, I think they're all 20. Or there are 20 skill points in each of these sections, because these are just kind of like labels. This is fast attack. This is strong attack. This is defense. This is marksmanship. This is battle stance. You can't actually spend points here. It's the stuff below that you can actually spend points on. But anyways, that's all a bit of an aside. So we can upgrade our fast attack damage and our adrenaline point gain for fast attacks, and I'm assuming the strong attack is, yeah, basically identical. In terms of the upgrade, deflecting arrows while parrying, I don't know about that. Now, should we be also thinking about upgrades further down the tree? Quite possibly. It seems like the quick attack and the strong attack are basically going to be identical across the board. Okay, except once you get down here, it'd be pretty nice to be able to get a whirl attack. Obviously, that would be pretty far distance in the future. Can't get it until we have 20 points in branch. That's 5. That's 10. This would be 15. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think we go, keep it simple, take the quick attack. Let's do this. 5% damage really does seem like almost nothing to me, which is why on the first time that I looked at the damage upgrade stuff, I was not very enthused. It seemed like, that's a lot of investment for very little reward. But maybe it's kind of just that you acquire skill points relatively quickly, so you don't need to be too concerned about all that stuff. You know I'm tempted. We don't have a healing option at the moment. Well, actually, hold on. I think we do. We were out of swallow potions, but we did have some water, which is, as everyone knows, a fantastic way to heal yourself. I thought it expired. Okay, I was going to say, I thought it expired, and yet our health was still going up. Let's try this out now that we have much more HP. Are you guys still damaged? Very much so. Ow. I did slice your friend in half. I think that's hopefully it. Hey, you guys want to, like, thank me? You know, like, help me out and stuff? Maybe? Maybe not? Okay, fine. That's cool, too. Yeah, be that way. And we did need Drowner Brains a while ago for crafting believe it was the swallow potion, actually. But the primary thing that I think this did for us was that we can now see what the deal is with this. Oh, hidden treasure, you say? You see the smaller question mark are actually the herbs, I suppose, on the map that I'm kind of thinking might be thing that we want to check out. Whatever those ingredients are. Buckthorn?
I could.
Oh,
Should
that
talk to
is
Vesemir.
not actually the thing I was looking for, though. Is the thing. I did not think we were close enough to the area where the buckthorn was supposedly going to be. That is the item that is supposed to be the lure, the griffin. So yeah, I was kind of hoping to hold off on that for a bit, but apparently not. This is probably what I was actually looking for. Marion Lily Key. I have no idea what that means. That sounds like it might be something that could unlock a new area for us of some variety. Quest items. Marion Lily Key. Can we, like, examine it further or anything like that? I don't really know what to make of that. And now that we have the buckthorn, do we have no choice? Have we committed now? Is there no going back? Because, seems like that may very well be the case now. Let's see. Talk to Vesemir. Oh, okay, we don't get any more specific stuff than that. Commander of Nilfgaardian Prison. The Witcher investigated and learned that the griffin he had encountered along the high road outside of White Orchard had good reason to prey on the local populace. Soldiers the Nilfgaardian commander had sent out to scout had, in fact, killed the griffin's brooding mate. Griffins are known to mate for life, and Geralt thus felt a pang of pity for the beast. Whatever the professional, he could not let his feelings interfere with his work. Okay, yeah, well, but see, the thing is, more specifically, I want to know, now that we have picked up the buckthorn, could this thing swarm us at any given point in time? Or can we go about our way, maybe doing some more minor side quests? I don't know. There's also red below the stalk. Don't really know what to make of that. Is there still loot here? Seems like there might actually still be loot here. I assumed that it was. Oh, yeah, I very much think so. In fact, probably that. If I could remember how to dive. Don't remind me. It's a little painful still. Can we unlock that? Yes. Can we undive, perhaps? Maybe like surface. Probably be the word. Marion valuables. Oh, we probably needed the key to open up that chest. That would make sense. Okay. And there is still something showing up on the mini-map here, but I feel like that is probably the thing that we just checked out, unless there's more. And there were a few things here. That perhaps more buckthorn? Okay, it seems like there may just be buckthorn pretty much everywhere once you get out mid-river. So that might be why I didn't think we were in the area that the quest had indicated as the designated buckthorn spot, and yet we did still end up getting it. But anyways, let's see the stuff that we just picked up. I didn't really take note of what it was, but is any of it any good? And by is any of it any good, I mean, is there obviously something sitting in our inventory right now that is clearly better than anything that we previously had that would suggest that we may have just picked it up? I feel like it might have been some kind of armor. This looks like it has less durability than our existing pair of boots, but more armor rating from the looks of things. I think that's what those indicators are. I'm not sure if we definitively said one way or the other. I think so, because our current pair of boots have 5, and this has 7 armor on them, so we'll make that swap. This, not seeing anything to suggest that the new stuff is better there. Okay, so we got a small boot upgrade, it seems, at the very least. So that's something. I think there were a few more things on this side of the river, fairly close by, that we have not yet explored. So, a lot of them, actually. So, are we daring enough, perhaps, to explore what the heck is over here? I don't know. Why not? Does seem as though there's some kind of establishment over here. It's peasants. I don't think we've been here. Yeah, the mill. Okay. What the heck was that sound? Oh, you chopping wood. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. You just concerned me a little bit, is all. That maybe, however, doesn't look terribly welcoming. So, maybe proceeding a little bit more with caution, despite how this does seem to be at least a somewhat friendly area. Possibly, maybe. Could we perhaps loot some stuff from here? Silver! Sounds more valuable than anything we've ever collected thus far. So, that's encouraging. That looks like a wolf. Or is it just a horse? It's just a horse. It would be much more peaceful. Okay. Don't think... Well, more silver. I was gonna say it. Don't see anything else here that is obviously significantly more valuable than other stuff that we've been accumulating. This actually hit us. Not sure if we want to know, but like at the same time, I do kind of want to know. Does this hit us? Just missed. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the game, because the game does have a lot of attention to detail. Thought there was a ladder. Kinda, sorta, but not really. Perhaps we could, let's see, is R. Let's do, really? I was expecting us to be able to push some of this debris away, so we could climb up there. Could we maybe chop through? No? I was thinking that we'd be able to go up there. It's a little unfortunate. I was looking forward to exploring it further. Might there actually be more people all the way up here? I would think so. Seems built up enough. Yeah, hopefully, like, normal, living human beings. And not, say... that's clearly a dungeon of some variety. You know, not like monster people. Oh. Something. Maybe it was just the, my controller vibrating from us getting our sign back, our ability to cast a sign back. But, this feels like a terrible idea. Going down blindly into this tunnel with no idea what's supposed to be here. No indication of whether this is something that we ought to expect to be extremely difficult, or what. That didn't look good. Some red. Oh, the red is like loot. At the same time, this makes me really nervous because there is definitely a red indicator on the map. So this will probably kill us. This is probably trapped in some way, shape, or form. That does look really good. feels like we're gonna fall through here, or it's gonna be, you know, some monster that is hiding in here. We're going to make angry at us. Or maybe it's just great stuff that we had every reason to try to loot as early as possible, in which case, good on us. I don't know. Let's run for our lives, just in case. Wasn't me! Wasn't me. Okay, so, I suppose... seems like worked out pretty well. Let's take a look, because some of that stuff seemed like it was getting pretty good. I think we saw some new armor. Not that, perhaps. Maybe this is certainly better than what we currently have. 2 additional armor. A master item? I have no idea what that means, but okay. Let's equip it. Then what else are we looking at? Certainly not that. Okay. Perhaps weapons? Maybe? Weapon upgrade? Whoa! Oh my goodness. Secondary weapon? Do we have a secondary weapon right now? I don't know, but a secondary weapon that has basically twice the damage of our primary weapon, to me, sounds like more of a primary weapon. He's taking the steel weapon's spot. I don't know, is there any reason why axes are inherently worse than swords? Is there reason to think that there's a little misleading there, seeing the very high damage roll on that axe? Or is it truly just way better than what we've been doing? Now, see, that also looks not so great. Is there perhaps anything in here? No, we can't even go in the chicken coops. How dare I even suggest such a thing? Let's see. Here, perhaps? This looks like another herbalist area, based on just how many flowers there are, although unfortunately, these are just for aesthetics, it would seem, and we can't actually pick them. It's a sad day. Fishing rod? That person is looking not so living. It's maybe not a good sign. Also, the fact that this door does not appear to be opening. Maybe. Also not a good sign. Odd. Okay. I have a feeling we are going to be back in this area at some point. This will not be our only time checking this place out. What the heck is that? That looks like an area that almost certainly will summon a whole bunch of demons, or spirits, wraiths of some variety, because it looks like a graveyard to me. So yes, it may be shining, but at the same time, I feel like we have benefited from exploring this area, and at this point, maybe we're approaching the point of testing our luck just a little bit too much. Perhaps we ought to not get too greedy and just settle the good stuff that we have picked up. Meanwhile, we kept our course all the way over here. How dare we? How could we have done such a thing? One of those. Okay. Hello, Roach. Okay, so let's take a quick peek as to whether there is truly anything that we feel like we must visit before we talk to Vesemir, because I feel like now might be the time to talk to Vesemir. So I think, based on where we were before, this is probably the graveyard area. So this is probably something that we ought to pass on for the time being, because if we were concerned about fighting one of those wraiths, then chances are a whole graveyard, I would suspect there would be many of them, and I would suspect that that would mean we would be very, very overwhelmed if we were to go there. Which is largely the reason for my caution. Let's see if we find anything on our way back toward Vesemir. Ooh, that's what I get for that's what I get for veering off a little bit from the autopilot. Roach, 1 second here. Oh god, that was a little odd. A little odd, perhaps. Okay. Let's maybe also put the axe away as we're walking through town. Might be a little bit better for our relations with the locals. I did pick up a fishing rod. Is there actually any function behind having a fishing rod? Can we use it for fishing? Or is that purely just a pile of junk that we ought to sell at the next opportunity? Have we seen this spot? This looks cool. I like this shallow area here. That guy's fishing. Should we be taking the hint? Can we actually? Oh no, well, probably not under alchemy. Can we actually use a fishing rod? Is that a thing? List items, does it fall under that category? Probably not. Oh, we did find a book as well in that area we were just exploring. Is it this one? Might be. Based on how there's an exclamation point next to this, it would suggest that we have not read this yet. Whom it may concern, by order of the Legion Commander, the men bearing this missive are to be escorted north, the border post near Oxenfurt. That's... We've heard the name many times. We were talking to the person who we went with. I believe they were from Oxenfurt. I forget what the name of the state is that it's from. We've heard the name of the state once or twice, but it's also something, or place that we certainly haven't been, but of at least some vague sense as to where it is and what the current state of things are there, because one could only assume Nilfgaard's probably going to end up there pretty soon as well. But anyways, so to the border post near Oxenfurt, where they will find a Redanian division waiting for them. As noble-born Temerians, they are under special protection, and not a hair on their heads is to be harmed. Everything they carry is their own private property and is to remain in their possession. Any failure to heed this order will be punished in an accelerated military tribunal. Randall Wittgenberg. Okay. Supposedly that is a quest item. Oh, Temerian valuables. Oh! Okay, quest completed. Apparently. Based on how we were seeing Temerian valuables when we were looting that body next to the water and the chest in the water, that might have actually been a book that we found in the water. Might not have been the one that we found in that little cellar area. Or maybe those two things were connected, and just by coincidence we happened to have gone there immediately afterward, but that would seem unlikely. And I know we have now crossed the river again, and are now in different territory, not headed straight toward Vesemir. But there's stuff to explore, right? Why would we not explore? Okay, so there may not be any question marks anywhere near us at the moment. We've probably been to this little area over here. Actually, not entirely sure. So maybe let's check that out. Oh, look at that sunset as well. It's beautiful. So in case we have not checked out this area here, do a brief little expedition. What are these little huts? Are they huts or are they haystacks? They don't look like they're something that have any way to get in there. Have we been here? Maybe not. I feel like this does not look familiar. Love those trees. Oh, very nice. Okay, just lots of crow's eye, it seems. Whoa, oh, and other stuff. I think we have collected more than our fair share of all this. We go up the ladder, we can't. Disappointing. Tempting to loot, but this guy might get mad at us, so maybe don't. Oh, this might be the tower that we saw when we were tracing that guy's footsteps a while back. So yeah, I think we are now truly back in the heart of White Orchard. We've definitely been here before.
We meet again.
Thank you for saving me. People say all kinds of things about witches, but I've always known yours to be an honorable guild.
So you managed to salvage some goods.
Yes, but I await the repair of my wagon. As time passes, my losses grow. Do you need something? I'll let it go half-free.
Oh. It does sound nice.
Let me have a look at your stock.
Doesn't sound like we're going to be helping him all that much with making things a little easier financially on him. Ah, interesting. Horse blinders make it so that your horse does not get fearful as quickly. That's cool. Oh, I'm pretty sure we got a... Where are these? These are the shopkeeper's items on the right here, aren't they? Right, because it says shopkeeper. I did think that we picked up a Temerian saddle. Or a saddle of some variety, I have no idea. Temerian one. Allow you to carry more weight. That does sound very good. Or let's not tire as quickly. Yeah. That does sound nifty. And Gwent cards! Don't need full test. We do have him already. Unique card strength 5. This sounds like a good card. Place next to a card, same name, to double the strength of both cards. When it has 5 strength already? Sounds pretty awesome. Next to card, same, double, okay. Same idea. Yeah. Across the board. So we've only played one round of Gwent. But it does seem like some of that stuff could be rather useful, rather powerful in terms of how good those cards are. Okay, I do see that some of the axes that we picked up before are also very high on the damage front. However, it seems as though based on how they require level 6, they're things that we have but cannot currently use. So that, I believe, would justify, or at least, yeah, you know, give a little further explanation as to why our existing axe that we just picked up and have equipped seems to be so much better than what we have been using. Let's sell some of the other stuff that we have, though, that's not so great. I do think we probably want to hold on to some weapons to have a little bit of a backup in case we do run out of durability on anything that we're currently using. But I'm trying to be mindful of which ones are very clearly significantly worse than anything that we're currently using. Like rusty weapons are probably not great. That one's pretty close to what we have at the moment, though. It's a -8, whereas -22 is presumably considerably worse than what we have. -25. Based on the name of that item, it sounded like it was probably our starting piece of gear. And... I think that's the case with this. probably not worth much in the way of orans here, or whatever form of currency we're actually dealing with. Yeah, like seven orans or so. I mean, that's, and again, it's not like we have all that much. Not exactly overflowing with wealth at the moment. So I think that'll put us in a better place in terms of giving us a little more inventory space, a little more coinage. And we saw the guy who we rescued from the Griffin not long ago. And this does bring us over to Vesemir. Now, are we feeling like we're ready to do this? Are there any obvious things that we might want to do before we fight the Griffin? Because I'm assuming, like, as soon as we talk to Vesemir, probably going to go into whatever sequence of events we need to do to, well, fight the Griffin. And there will not be much lead up from there. I think we've already done much of the lead up. So I think
Let it rain.
we would basically be doing things with our current setup. Could we perhaps make sure to sharpen up our weapons, plural, here? That might be helpful. There we go. That might help a bit. I don't remember how substantial the damage boost from that is, but maybe it's just a little boost we might have been looking for. Who knows? Who knows? But I think what... I really thought that goose had two heads for a moment. I was very concerned. I think what we ought to do, we probably should have technically done this before we just upgraded or used those whetstones on our weapons, but can we perhaps meditate right now? And I do not remember how one does that, because it is not the same as what it was previously, although it is somewhat similar. What I'm going to do is I'm deliberately going to rest, because I think that will allow us to regenerate some of our HP, allow us to refill our potions, and it'll also bring us the day, because I have no idea. Might be that it's beneficial to be fighting the Griffin during the day, because I have no idea. If number to the left of your enemy's health bar shows its level. If it is red or marked with a skull, it means the enemy is much stronger than you. In such cases, it's better to turn back, arm yourself suitably, and gain a few levels before engaging this enemy in combat. So this does beg the question as to why we are getting prompted with this right now. Is the game trying to give us a hint here? Like, Lids, don't fight this Griffin right now. Or maybe it just always comes when you're... Oh, a Nilfgaardian soldier. What? Oh, we presumably probably took that away. We, like, looted some stuff that the Nilfgaardians did not want us to loot. And now the Nilfgaardians are mad at us. Probably, maybe. Could we perhaps, like, put away this weapon? I would like to maybe put away the weapon and maybe lose the perception that we are a criminal that ought to be attacked and driven out of town. I believe we are currently out of stamina, although... Oh, that guy is still chasing us. Roach, could you perhaps get right here, right now? Because, this guy is very much still chasing us. And I very much need you to show up, like, right now. Otherwise, we are probably about to die. Roach, actually get over here, dude. These guys want to fight us. Guys elsewhere did not. Oh my god. Daryl is out of energy. We are gonna die here. I want to run away on Roach. Roach is not cooperating. Roach, run! Are you serious? Oh, that is so stupid. Well, it's our first death of the game. And we did it in style, I suppose, in true Skyrim fashion, if nothing else.